Hey guys, I'm Tanisha. Hey. I just want to say that I am dire need of these shares for my GoFundMe, guys. I am facing eviction. I'm currently on Section 8, which is very crucial for an artist here in New York. Being able to afford rent is it's how the story. I've been homeless before and I'm facing that again. So please, I literally don't know what details to tell you, but if you can just share this, it would mean a whole lot. Don't you hate that the world has come to this? Like, honestly. Like, we can't vibe no more. I didn't expect my adulthood to be like this, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we could tell.
See, life just dishing it out, huh? I'm currently 5K in debt. I've been thinking about my options on how to fucking solve this shit. I've been hyper independent for a long time, okay? I'm gonna figure it out. But until then, please share my GoFundMe. And if you got it, donate to them. Thank you. Hey guys.
She says she's been hyper independent for a long time. How can you consider yourself independent and then you create a GoFundMe to prevent an eviction, and the only debt that you have is 5K? The people who probably donate to you are probably in much more than 5K of debt, but you're making it seem like an emergency when this is really a choice. And here's what I mean. Just say you're creating a GoFundMe for people to help you support your dreams. Chase your dreams, excuse me. You want people to support you chasing your dreams. Meanwhile, they go to work and do the conventional thing and the monotonous thing and the thing that they don't want to do. But now you're asking for people to fund you to be able to live the artist life in New York. Ma'am, it sounds like your art isn't paying the bills. So, if you want to be a struggling artist, that's your prerogative and that's your choice and ultimately your decision. But to come on here and ask people to basically fund you being a struggling artist, I think that's crazy. Why can't you get a job? Is what I want to know. And this is what we deal with. People, everybody wants to be an adult till it's time to be an adult and handle their responsibilities and handle their obligations. I think it's amazing. And by the way, um, if you look at her, she asked for the shares or whatever. She didn't get much engagement on this post. She only got 2 shares, 36 likes, because people aren't as dumb as you think. People can look at what you just said and understand that, oh no, she is definitely choosing to be in this situation. She's able-bodied. It looks like she doesn't have any kids, and she's getting government assistance. See, you can't let that go over your head. She says she's on Section 8. She has no business being on Section 8. That is absolutely a choice, and I don't know how they allowed her to slide under the radar like that. But that is insane. Y'all, before we get into the next clip, if you could like the video, and by the way, it's Wednesday. Historically, Wednesday is my worst day of the week. So I want to try something, because the data also tells me that usually my videos, if they get 100 likes within the first hour, they usually perform a lot better. So with Wednesday being the worst day of the week for me, typically, it'd be awesome if we could see if this video could get 100 likes before it hits that hour mark. I may just stop posting on Wednesdays altogether, but let's try that. Let's see if this video can get 100 likes within the hour, not when it says an hour, like when it still has the minutes on there. And let's try that. This next clip says, update on my eviction appeal.
Quick update. So, as y'all know, a couple of weeks ago, this happened. I am currently facing eviction. God has blessed us enough to put us in a great position to fight back to keep our home. We are now on the 3rd month of us on the appeal. So we've been making sure we made our payments on time. I went through 2 jobs. There was one particular job they weren't trying to pay us on time. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I'm now doing a corporate job. Less stress, more money. Hello. Can I get an amen in the comments? Ashe and how and period. Whatever you want to say, put it right there. God is such a mastermind. And I wanted to give y'all an update because I know y'all like, what's going on? You posting all these different.
Listen, she says she's been making her payments on time. If you're in an eviction hearing and you've gone to the appeal, that means you've lost the case already. And they've already filed a judgment and then you appealed it. And what a lot of people will do is they'll appeal because the appeal can be very time consuming and it can buy them more time. But usually when you're appealing, since you've already lost the case, you still have to pay the prorated rent that you would have had to pay after the fact since you've already lost. So when she says she's making her payments on time, I believe she's talking about she's making the required payments as far as it's called a bond amount a lot of times. And really it's like putting money in escrow just in case you lose the appeal again. Then the money of them having to fight the case after the fact, they can make sure that they can recoup that. And a lot of times, or really almost all times, if you don't make your appeal payments while you're appealing, your bond payments, then you just automatically you lose the appeal anyway. So understand that's why she's making it. That doesn't mean that she's caught up on her default judgment, which was the money that she was owing to begin with. So keep that in mind.
A mastermind. And I wanted to give y'all an update because I know y'all like, what's going on? You posting all these different things. Yes, I performed the Carolina Music Video Awards. I was on a pilot for a TV series. God is blessing even in the midst of everything else that's going on, y'all. I am so proud of me and my family. I'm so grateful for everything that we have and the things that are falling into place for us. I want you to know that your dreams are still valid, even if you're going through something. That there is time. As long as you're breathing, as long as you're here, as long as you're positive, as long as you're grateful, things will go your way. Please take my story as example. It can happen, and it will. It's happening for me. I receive it, and it's happening for you.
I guess this is going to be the getting evicted, chasing my dreams edition. Because, ma'am, I'm gonna be real. You owe me if you owe me money, cool. You got another job, a corporate job. Guess what? I don't want to see that you're like taking acting roles outside your work or you're doing music performances that you're probably not getting paid for. Uh-uh. You owe me money and you're acting like you can't pay it. I need you to, after your corporate job, since it seems like you got all this energy to be able to do these other things that are basically like jobs, I want you to get another job at 7-Eleven, at a construction yard for I don't care what it is. You owe people money and you clearly have energy to be able to work outside of your hours and do other things and other endeavors. So the first priority has to be bringing in more money because you owe somebody. And clearly, the way that your life was set up, you were coming in the negative. But now you're about to get this eviction on your record. And I mean, you can appeal and buy yourself more time in the property. But once you get that eviction on your record, I was going to say it's going to be hard to find another place, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's already gone ahead and secured another place. So that's why she's not worried right now. But just be ready to stay there for 7 years at the minimum because those evictions last for a long time.
Let's see if I can avoid eviction. What does that mean? Let me tell y'all. So, as most of you know, I moved into my apartment in October. End of September, early October. Ended up having an emergency C-section in November, which caused me to have to sit down, quite literally. And the C-section was pretty bad. It was really, really bad. My birth story kind of like talked about it a little bit, but they didn't go into real detail about what was going on. Anyways, I have to stand for my job. And even when I sat down, I did not realize how serious a C-section was until I had to deal with, trying to heal from it afterwards. So anyways, I was late for my rent in November. They sent out a notice to quit, and I had to come up with that money, right? Couldn't because I can't stand. So no way to come up with money then when I can't stand. I have my 3 youngest with me, so I'm over here trying to heal, get kids on the bus,
What?
get with the baby, breastfeed, and then I have to worry about a notice to quit at the door. So I end up paying off everything I owed, and there was some left. Instead of not even rent, my utility, I forget how they call it, utility arrearage. Sorry, I can't say that word. And that's all that was really left. So I had to go to court, and they saw that there was an amount still due, but it was not my rent. So they're like,
Okay, I can't wait any longer. We got to address the elephant in the room. So it sounds like she has already 3 small children, and she just conceived another one. The obvious question is, you just had another man's child. Are y'all not together already? Why is this so normal, where people are freshly pregnant but single? And then she has some other kids, like 3 other kids. So what, you got 3, 4 kids now, and you're single, and you just had a newborn, and you and that guy fell out already? How are y'all falling out with guys when you're at your most vulnerable state and when you're pregnant? Was it somebody that you were with to begin with? Or was this just an impulsive fling? And then have you been alone this entire time? There's no excuse for that because you already have 3 other small children, though. It's like, how many times do you continue to put your hand on the hot stove before you just say, oh, that's hot, let me not touch it? And this is what we see, and this is what people do when they put themselves in these positions, and they put these self-inflicted wounds on themselves and ultimately sabotage their entire lives, and then they need help after the fact from other people. But we can never get into the details of, like, how did we end up here? How did you not learn from this situation, this situation, this situation that you've already experienced to avoid this? And what guarantee that do I have that you're not going to end up with a 5th next year? These are the things we have to start doing, because that's going to be in people's best interest, because clearly they just keep doing the same thing and acting like they don't understand, but then having to make it other people's problems.
okay, well, basically they only gave me 3 days. 3 days to come up with the arrearage, the utility arrearage, and then April's rent. Keep in mind that I just paid off everything the following month that I owed from not being able to work for how long. So my savings is wiped out, everything is wiped out. Today now is Monday the 20th, and I had to pay the money for them to get all their money on the 10th. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I tried to pay down as much as I can, pay down $500. First of all, the following month I just paid like $5,000 something, and now I have to pay another $3,000 whatever. So I'm over here trying to get every client I can, and just so we can avoid getting kicked out. And it's not even like, oh yeah, you get child support. No, I don't get stated, I don't get anything. It's just me working and doing hair. That's the only thing that's helping me, okay? I was getting help from my children's father. He ended up losing his job and not saying anything until maybe 2 weeks after he lost his job. And then it's kind of like a bummer because I was waiting for the assistance from him. Sorry, baby. I was waiting for him to help, but that help was never going to come because he never said anything. So I'm on my own when it comes to this stuff, okay? Yeah, before y'all come under my comments, you decided to have kids with him, but it also takes two to tango. I never said my kids weren't well taken care of. I never said they didn't have anything. I didn't say that they have a need for something. They never do. I always take care of that. But our housing situation has turned on me because I had a C-section. That's literally it. And you know, there are times where I've had clients.
So let me get this straight. So y'all done built this up. So you done had all these kids with the same man. And so when you finally have this last one and have the C-section or whatever, now all of a sudden after y'all done built this entire family, y'all done decided to separate and we can't work it out now. This is insanity. This is so insane. And like it's not even just by the fact that like y'all two can raise the kids together that it's in your best interest for y'all to stay together. You are literally going through it for real. You're about to be under a bridge after just recently having a C-section and having a newborn child with two or three other ones, little ones running around. And that can't be a big enough and good enough reason for y'all to work it out. Y'all have been able to stay together through conceiving 3 or 4 children. And now all of a sudden, when you get to the pinnacle of your large family, now all of a sudden you want to be single with 3 or 4 kids running around. Like, there are so many deterrents and reasons why, like, you should like fight to keep your family, both of y'all. But it's like, honestly, I feel like you as the woman should like really want to fight to keep your family more because you're going to have more of the logistical challenges as we see. That dude still gets to move around, whatever, and he just has to pay child support. So I don't understand how we couldn't keep it together. I really don't. But this is going to be tough. Or why you weren't formally together before you decided to make all these permanent decisions. It's not that hard in this time. It's really not. There's so many ways to protect yourself.
I said, don't pay, that don't want to pay. So I'm over here trying to get everybody to help me.
I don't know why it's muted right now. The editing is, see, it's just chaos. It's just chaos. She can't even get her editing together. Look, the whole rest of the video, she talking and there's no audio. But in all seriousness, this happens to me all the time, man. Where the audio just like, I watch it back after and it's muted in some points. I don't know why that happens, but it is very frustrating. So it can happen to anybody. All right, so the next clip.
Guess who got an eviction notice? It's all good, chat. We got the rental assistance, so we're good. They say the Lord works in mysterious ways, and here we are. What's crazy is that I made that eviction notice happen. I intentionally did not pay my rent because I figured that if I got an eviction notice, that would persuade the people that are providing my rental assistance to like step up their case. And that was recommended by an attorney that I was working with. I am super grateful to live in a state that has pretty strong tenant protections. Like, my hearing wouldn't be till June. I'd be selling tamales on the streets, y'all. But rent's getting paid. We're fine. I still have a lot of anxiety, though. And I hate that I had to, like, get to this point. But I can't imagine what it would be like without the savvy intellect that I've developed thanks to my family and, like, growing up poor. I mean, technically the rent hasn't been paid yet, but it's gonna happen in the next few weeks or days, so we'll see. I don't stress about money because my grandma and my mom always told me that money comes and goes, and here they are being proved right again. Guess who got an eviction notice?
His grandma and his mom. No dad, huh? Okay, well, they were wrong. You're going to live your life just with the philosophy that money comes and goes. So just go ahead and get evicted and just end up under a bridge. No worries. Money's going to come and go. If you're at your low point, then money's coming pretty soon. No. You got to get active and you have to be effective. And if you're not doing that, then money's going to be going a lot faster than it's coming. This dude said that he actually got evicted on purpose so that he would meet the threshold for him to be able to get rental assistance. And this is a grown man. Don't let anything else fool you. This is a grown man. What they should have had he had mentioned what his father told him, he'd have been like, my father told me the value of hard work and making sure that you handle your responsibilities no matter what, and that you take responsibility ultimately. But he gets to live in La La Land because his mommy and his Grammy told him, "Oh, don't worry, just things will just come. It'll just happen." Dude, you're not a chick. As close as you are, you're not. So understand, they're living two so totally different realities, but apparently not, because he was able to get some assistance like a chick. I will say that he he got that, but I think that's where it's gonna end.
Okay, so TikTok.
Her her caption says, "I need some advice on my situation. I believe she's getting evicted."
I need some advice. This is my situation. I just arrived home and I have an eviction notice on my door. So to kind of give y'all an update of how we got to this point, I have a job, a full-time job, and I have extra income. But my extra income was cut without me knowing into the last minute. Okay? So instead of getting that extra $986, it was showing to like 164, which put me, after moving into this place, which put me behind in rent. So processing is moving forward. I spoke with the leasers and and talked about the leasing agreement, and we came up with a budget arrangement. Like I told them, like, hey, this is my situation,
What?
and this.
What the hell did she just say? She said, "I talked to the." You okay? So you talked to the leasing company, and y'all came up with a budget arrangement. So what did they sit there and they said? Did they say, "Let me see your account. Let's put together a budget"? They arranged your budget, ma'am. People just come up with anything to try to fit their situation. Y'all came up with a budget arrangement, huh? You see how she's being very cryptic with what she's talking about? I had some extra income, and then the extra income went away. Ma'am, you need to unpack that. What was the extra income? Was it government assistance? Did you mess that up somehow? What was it? And then why did it go away? Why did you not do that? But it's because, man, people be just BSing online, man. They need some, just like how this video says that she needs some advice. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the clip, she needs more than advice. And she's asking for it. A budget agreement. Ma'am, the only budget agreement that they're going to give you is, yeah, make sure that your budget is in agreement with this contract that we signed already. That's your budget agreement.
Budget arrangement. Like I told them, like, hey, this is my situation, and this is how much I can pay moving
And this is
forward.
how much I
Cool.
can pay.
We got that understood. So I've been paying what I can.
We got that understood.
100, 200 here, blase, right?
Really?
So when coming home, my eye was jumping, y'all. That may be an old folks saying or whatever, but baby, that's spiritual intuition. My left eye was jumping. I was like, damn, something to make me mad. I'm not even mad. I'm more so disappointed because, yo, this is the wrong time to be trying to scramble, figure out where you're going to go.
Yeah, I'm sure they felt the same way. She talking about we came to an agreement, but ultimately all I did, I went down there and I told them what I could pay, and this is all I can give you, and it just is what it is. That's all I got, ma'am. That's not a productive conversation. People think, see, they pretended to have the conversation with you and just said, okay, well, yeah, just give us what you can, and then they said, yeah, let's go ahead and start. Let's call up John. John's the attorney, by the way. Call up John. We're about to have to go ahead and put this on her. We're just waiting now. As soon as she messes something up, ma'am, people will try to go and have one-sided conversations, one-sided negotiations of basically coming into it already just saying, well, it's impossible for me to do what I'm supposed to do and what I agreed to do. And so what? Either you get this or you get nothing. And they think that that's a productive conversation, and then someone owes them something after the fact to be transparent about what their next move is going to be.
This is the wrong time to be trying to scramble, figure out where you're going to go. And like I said, they on the lease, on the eviction notice, it says 3 days from today. So with it moving forward, I don't know what I need to do. I don't know. I'm really lost at this point on how to move. Besides, get my stuff put in storage and live out my car. Because literally, this is heartbreaking. I really want to cry right now. Because between credit checks and 3 and 4 times the rent, y'all, this is fucking hard. I am a mother of 2. I'm working a full-time job doing every fucking thing I can do. Like, I'm so frustrated. I want to cry so bad right now, but
Let me just go ahead and clear something up for people, right? If you're single, especially in this new economy, then you can work a full-time job with, like she just said, a full-time job. If you decide to be a single parent with 2 other dependents, then it sounds like you're going to have to get more than a full-time job. Sounds like you're going to need 2 full-time jobs as well as a part-time job. So 3 jobs is what you're probably going to need, because you got to do what it takes. You don't get to do the bare minimum. That, and by the way, a full-time job is the bare minimum for an adult. I know we like to look at it like, oh, 40-hour work week is so much, it should really be 20. No. For an adult just taking care of themselves, a full-time job is the bare minimum. You don't get to do the bare minimum when you've made decisions to take on other responsibilities that you didn't have to take on. So that's a public service announcement. And so that should serve as a good deterrent to not take on what you can't handle before you're ready.
I'm so angry at the same time, so I can't even cry. Angry, disappointed, so many emotions is like harboring. Because like right now, I'm finna get ready to go to work. And getting paid every 2 weeks, I feel like, damn, in order for me to be able to fucking maintain, I have to work 2 fucking jobs. Then that take away from being with my kids.
Take away from being
and
with your
knowing
kids.
them as they grow.
And knowing them as they grow.
I don't know what to do. I really don't. I mean,
Listen, ma'am. Your kids will be all right. I think they'll tell you, like, if between being evicted on the streets and you not being around as much, I think they would just rather you get that second job. I think don't use your kids as the crutch. Just say you don't want to do it. Let's do that. Just say you don't want to do it. She's talking about I'm harboring so much anger. Let me tell you something. If the rent that you owe me is $1,500 a month, and then you come and sit in my face and talk about some, yeah, I was making more and then I'm making less, but I'm not going to tell you what it was and what happened or why that is or why I'm making less. But I know I owe you 1,500, but I can only put 100, 200 on it a month. That's going to have me harboring anger. So just understand everybody has the right to feel how they want to feel. But ultimately, your responsibility is your responsibility, just like their responsibilities is their responsibilities. So, in order for them to make sure that they can be responsible, they're just going to go ahead and get you out of there so they can put somebody else in there. Since you didn't want to do what it took because you wanted to make a decision to, I want to spend more time with my kids. Ma'am, that's a want. That's not a need. You don't need to spend more time with your kids. That's not that important. You need to make sure that you can take care of these kids. That's your job. So that's a luxury. You want to watch them grow up and you want to spend as much time with them as possible and watch SpongeBob with them. Yeah, that's cool if you would have prepared before you had them. But since you didn't, and since it was impulsive, and now you're building the ship while you sail it, you're just gonna have to do whatever it takes, and you're just gonna have to get your hands dirty and get it out the mud. And just say that that's what you don't want to do. Don't try to use it. You just want to spend time with your kids. A lot of parents, y'all ain't pouring into your kids anyway. Let's just be real. These kids come out here dumb as rocks, not knowing nothing, and then they got to get hit upside the head by life and start figuring it out from there. So let's stop that.
Arkansas, anybody have any type of um what you call resources or any ideas on what I should do? And I did a research when it comes to like the what you call it. I can't even think about what it is because I'm thinking like right now, where we gonna go? Way before moving here, I call shelters. Shelters are full. There's literally lots of people that's staying under the bridge. Staying. Got them the baskets and stuff like that. And these folks is sleeping on benches. I'm not gonna put me and my kids through that.
So that's what I like to hear.
I don't know
But
what
what you
else to
gonna
do.
do? Oh, you don't know though. That's the end of the clip. You know what you need to do. You need to stop having this limiting belief and this excuse that is the world's going to end if you don't spend as much time with your kids as possible and just play with your kids. No, you need to get another job. You know exactly what you need to do. And you need to work hard and do whatever it takes to bring some money in. People do it all the time because this is where the world is going. Yes, it is absolutely possible. I know things have been sweet for a long time, a long time. It was almost impossible. You could do anything in America and you wouldn't have to worry about being on the streets if you were a woman with kids. I get it. But understand it's getting real. You're going to have to be responsible. You're going to have to do something ultimately. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to show that you're trying. It seems like you have opportunities to be able to um get ahead. But you want to know what's crazy? People talking about they don't know what to do and all this type of stuff. You know what people are going to start doing? Especially, I wouldn't be surprised. She probably has older kids that don't necessarily need to be supervised all the time. But what people are going to start doing in order to work around the rules, they're going to start getting pregnant again because that's going to be a viable option for them to be able to buy time. And I think a lot of the rules for the government assistance programs, if you have small children under a certain age, then it's like it restarts the process and you're safe, right? You don't have to do the work requirements a lot of times. Just a lot of the new regulations and tightenings that they've implemented, you would be excluded from that and saved from that. So a lot of people, I believe, are going to start like getting pregnant, kind of like the other woman we just watched who just had the cesarean procedure to conceive. They're going to start doing that. And it's going to sound good right now. Maybe it'll save you right now. But in the long term, you're just kicking the can down the road. You're just going to end up right back here all over again. So, what I want to see is people solving the problem and ultimately not making their situation and their problem worse. That's what we need to do. And we need to be able to talk about it, because people get out here and they act like they don't understand how it happened and nobody taught them and they were young. Oh, I was young. I was 28. I didn't know no better. Oh, okay. Well, then definitely need to start talking about it, because there's no reason that grown folks should, because you're grown, you're fully grown at that age. There's no reason that grown, able-bodied adults shouldn't be able to learn and observe and recognize patterns and the things that we've been seeing for our entire lifetime, and understand the implications that that could then have on us, and make sure we don't do that. No, people are just impulsive out here. People are impulsive. They want to do whatever they want to do and have fun, and ultimately not be responsible for it. And things are no longer trending in that direction. So people are going to have to start operating accordingly, unless they just want to have a very hard life. And with the entitlement that we see out here, I don't think anybody wants to have a hard life, but you're going to have to make a decision. Either you're going to forsake what you want to do right now to be able to have the opportunity for a better life, or you're just going to make impulsive decisions that is moment to moment, and then you're going to have to spend a lifetime trying to make up for it. Y'all, we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels, so that's why we get more points. And also, if you want to join the membership on YouTube, you'll see a join button on there on the video, and you can join the membership, which would be a part of the DXU family. And what that comes with is badges that show next to your comments, that shows the prestige and lets people know that you're a part of the DXU family, as well as early access to videos and exclusive videos. So if you want to join that, feel free. But until then, I'll catch you all in the next video.